Hello, my friends. I welcome you all to the Creative Thinkers Hub channel. Today, we are going to be learning the A to Z of print design. Now, in that, the first thing that we are going to be looking at is the software and the file formats. That what are the softwares that are used in print design? The first thing that we are going to be looking at vector softwares. Now, what are vectors? Vectors are something that no matter how much you enlarge or reduce, okay, they do not lose their crispness or they do not lose their details. So the vector softwares that are there are CorelDraw, Adobe Illustrator, and so they you can convert files from both of these as PDFs or EPS. The extensions of CorelDraw is .cdr, Adobe Illustrator is .ai, then PDF Adobe PDF is .pdf and EPS is .eps. Okay, so these are vectors, and on the opposite spectrum, what we get is rasters. Rasters are images. Images will, if you blow them up very big, then they will pixelate. Now, pixels are something that is small boxes, and as we keep blowing things up, okay, the pixels will start to show and you have a loss of detail. So if you have to create something that is going to be blown up, it is best to make it in CorelDraw or Illustrator. Okay, and if you have an image to edit, then Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop is for images, and the formats that you get is .jpg and .png. Now, saying that once our artwork is complete, okay, we are now going to be looking at now how do we print this and what are the different paper types and the weightage. So there are two kinds of papers. One is matte or uncoated paper. Okay, now let's see what is matte or uncoated. So it is a porous type of paper, something that you get in your newspapers and low quality leaflets, and you can feel the texture. Even handmade paper is also matte paper. Okay, it absorbs more ink and therefore the printing quality is dull. So in this, because it is not coated with anything, it is pure paper, it allows ink to flow through. Even our exercise books for the children, okay, they are also uncoated. Then our bill books are also uncoated. Anything that allows you to write easily on it. Okay, so that is all uncoated papers, and therefore it takes time for the ink to dry because it absorbs a lot of ink. Okay, so it kind of takes in more ink than needed. Now there is a catch in this. When we are doing black and white books, let's say we are doing a novel, even novels are done in matte uncoated paper. Okay, so what happens is that if you have got anything, if you are printing at 100% black or 80% black, the output will come the same, because between 80 and 100 it is absorbing the same amount of ink. So if you have some effects or if you have some see-throughs in this, I would not advise you to go for 100% black, because it will get fully your see-through will get fully coated and you will not have that transparency effect. It's better to have 80% text and your see-through at 40% instead of 60% and 100%. Okay, so 80 and 40 is better when you're using uncoated paper because the ink is being absorbed heavily. So this is the example of an output. Now over here in uncoated, the ink gets absorbed and therefore these highlights that you can see here, ink even drops into these areas and kind of fills them up. So this is what you get as an output in coated, and this is what you get in uncoated. So the paper surface is not smooth, it is up down, and therefore it fills the ink in the areas which you don't want it to fill also slightly. Now on the other spectrum is glossy or coated paper. Now glossy doesn't mean glossy, it means something that is coated. It could be matte coated also. Okay, so it's chemical coated and with a smooth finish. You can have a matte smooth finish also. Absorbs less ink and therefore vibrant prints are got. The ink dries quickly. Why does it dry quickly? It's very simple, because it's coated and less ink is applied on top of the substrate, and therefore because there is less ink, it dries quickly and you cannot write very easily. It's very obvious if there's something that is coated, okay, it's not going to allow any kind of external ink. So it's very obvious that if something is not, something is coated, it's not going to allow something else to allow sit onto it. So you cannot write very easily, especially pencil might not work on top of it. So these are the different kind of coatings. As I said, you get gloss coating and you get matte coating, and you also get UV coating. So it can be done on both sides or on single side. So you can work around that. Then these, as I said, uncoated papers. So newspapers, letterheads, envelopes, they are all uncoated. Okay. And magazines, anything where you need very vibrant colors, you need colors showing out, magazines, book covers, glossy art prints, they are all always done on coated papers. Fine. Now saying that, let's get into paper weight. So this is your paper weight. So 60 to 80 GSM, or in UK standards or US standards, 20 or 32 pounds. LB is pounds. Okay, that is printer paper, letterhead or stationery. 100 to 120 GSM is resume and contracts, because they are more, they hold a value, they hold something that you would want to show. They're thicker, more lifelike papers. Some companies who want to show a one-up, okay, they also print their letterhead also on 100 or 120 GSM. Then you get directly 200 or 250 GSM, where brochures, report covers, signages and poster presentations are done. Okay. Then again, taking it further, 300 GSM or 80 pounds is where invitations, flyers, durable flyers, thick flyers, okay, business cards and menus and postcards are printed. So because you want them to last for a long time, they should be thick. And then are our super thick or 400 plus GSM papers, 100 to 132 pounds. These are index cards, boxes, placards, or even in certain countries, they are also called as box board. So that is what it is there. Then we have our color. Now color is of many different types. They are digital colors. So they are digital printing machines which work on red, green, black, blue and black. K is black. Red, green, blue and K is black. So they are directly printing on the media or the print documents. So there is no need of, so what we get are home printers or even commercial digital printers are directly printing on the substrate. There are no plates that are made. So that is what it is. It is because there is no plate, all the four inks are poured directly onto the media, and therefore it ends up being darker. Okay, because all the four inks are allowed to mix with each other together. So it is cheaper in small quantity, but if you're going large quantities, then digital printing could turn out to be expensive. And we cannot use special colors because it is a machine, and you cannot add any other colors than what slots are already there within it. Offset or cyan, magenta, yellow and K is black again. Okay, so this is offset. They are applied one at a time. Some of my friends might argue that there are 4-color machines. Yes, right. But if you realize, all 4 of them have got only one space for a plate. So first one plate is printed, then the paper passes on to the second plate, the third plate and the fourth plate. So therefore ink is applied one at a time on the media. Okay, all 4 do not apply together. Then you get the highest quality output in this, because every ink is allowed to have its own vibrancy. So therefore the output is of the highest quality. It becomes very cheaper in larger quantities because of 2 very simple reasons. That you the running cost, the wastage in offset is a fixed wastage. Whether you print 10 copies, 50 copies, so the registration wastage is the same. But after that, it is purely the ink cost is very low, and the output is you can print on bigger media, and therefore the in large quantities it becomes very cheaper. You can use special colors now because it is all on different drums. Okay, every color is a different drum, so you can basically print special colors also on those drums which are now vacant. Once the 4 colors are over, you can print special colors on any 1 or 2 drums, and therefore special colors, metallic colors, Pantone colors are allowed to be put into this. Now, special treatments. In special treatments, as I said, Pantone or Pantone matching system. These inks are special inks. They come, and obviously because they're special, they are more expensive than our regular CMYK inks. Okay, and they come in a large variety of coated and uncoated variants. So the variants could be like solid Pantone, regular Pantone, metallic Pantone, neon and neon Pantone, and so those kind of Pantone special inks can be got. So you get these special series. Okay, so this is how it is. Then metallic inks. Now metallic inks, you can also have Pantone metallic inks. Okay, and they are more or less specially applied on coated papers. Now, why they are applied on coated papers is very, very simple. Because metal, if you dull it down, as you see, on uncoated, the look of the shine is not too much. But here, can you see the white area that is coming? The shine of the whole thing. So this is the level of output that you can get on a coated paper. So the coated paper, you will get more sheen into the metallic paper. So these have certain metal particles which after they dry, they rise up and therefore the shine is created. Special ink treatments, we take it further. Okay, now foil stamping. Application of a thin metal foil on an area gives you super shine, and they can be used on any kind of paper, whether it is coated, uncoated, thick, thin, not a problem whatsoever. Foil stamping can be used. So these also come in huge varieties. You can get them in solid silver or gold. Okay, or you could get them in holographic prints. You could get them in all different colors, like what you can see here. We have got purple, we have got this rainbow type effect coming here, we have got it in red, matte gold, gloss gold. So the whole wagon is endless. Die cut. This is when a steel blade is used to shear a portion of the design to create a wide array of shapes and patterns. So extending this further, media could be die cut, that is smaller medium. Okay, so smaller things like visiting cards, brochures and things like that are die cut. Things that are laser cut are which are more heavy into GSM. Okay, and rotor cut are something that are very, very big media. Okay, like for example, you want to make hoardings or you want to make those kind of things which are big and cannot be done in a pressing machine or cannot be put into a laser machine. They are rotor cut. So you have a cutting machine, which are cutting blade, okay, which is going to be, you have to rotate the whole artwork or move the whole artwork into that machine. So these are examples of die cuts. Special treatments again continued. So there is deboss and emboss. The reason why I put both of them together is that in deboss, metal plate imprints the paper downward, requires thick paper for longevity. Okay, emboss is when two metal plates and heat stamp together to create a raised effect. So it's opposite of deboss, or deboss is opposite of emboss, and they both have to be done on thick paper, because if it's done on thin paper and if that book is pressed or that paper is pressed onto something, that thing will go away very soon. So if you want a good life, then it has to be done on thick paper, and this is an example of emboss where it's coming out, and deboss is when it's going in. Now coming on to, we have selected our effect. Now let's start making our print sizes. Okay, so in most of part of the world, there is this A series that has gone on. If you have removed any printout, they'll say, okay, do you want an A4 or an A3 printout? Okay, or an A0 when it comes to architectural printouts or things like that. So it all depends on what kind of a printout you want. This is a formula on which it is based, that is 1:1.412. And as it is said, A1 is twice as large as A2, A2 is twice as large as A3, and so on and so forth. So this is how it works. A8 being the smallest. So it starts with 2 inches. 2 inches multiplied by 1.4142 will give you 2.9. Then you take the 2.9 and that is the base of the second paper. So as you see, 74, 74, 105, 105, 148, 148, 210, 210, and so on and so forth. So this becomes the base. and then this base is multiplied by 1.4121, and you get this. Then this become the base and this become this. So you can just say every time you want to increase the size, you just rotate it and multiply it by 1.4121. Then US or inch system. There is no particular formula in this. Like how we have this 1:1.4121. There is no formula. It just cut into perfect inch calculation. So this is how it is. So half letter is 5.5 by 8.5. Okay. Letter is 8.5 by 11. Junior legal is 5 by 8. Legal is so and so. So it's just something that they have come up with, and that's about it. Now these are also ready paper sizes also that are available most places around the world. Now in India, you will have 2023, okay, which is not here. You will have 2436. You will have 2336, and you will have 3648. So these are paper size available in India. Okay. Then once we have selected a paper, done everything, know what effect, now we are going to start putting it for print. So when our artwork will obviously need cut marks, it will need bleed, and it will need ups. Now I'll be explaining what all of them are. What is the bleed? This is an extra small border around a final document that will be trimmed, cut, or dissolved in binding. It is usually 1/8 of an inch. It is not mandatory in certain creatives. Okay, so in certain creatives, like if we have a poster, or if we have a vinyl print, or if we have a hoarding, this bleed is not important. Okay, and but for smaller documents, it is very, very important. Cut marks. This is something we have to do for all printing jobs, no matter what it is, because even if it is for a hoarding, the person who is going to put the hoarding up, he should know that what is the place which you have kept as a marker, so that he also gets a straight line. So the cut marks are put, and he also can get a straight line on it. Okay, it is where the media has to be cut, folded, or bound. Now this is a bleed. This is a safety. Okay, and then we have our artwork. Okay, so that is the total border is 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so that is what it is. And then after the bleed, we have a trim lines over here. So that's how it is there. So this is where after the bleed, we have a trim line over here. As you can see, the trim line of final cut size. Okay. Now the safety also is kept, that in case a punching does go in, it goes in slightly. Okay, because punching is somewhat a semi-manual, semi-automatic kind of an effect. So if it does go in over here, then you don't want any important matter being cut in this area. Okay. Ups, it is something a designer does to fit multiple pieces on a single face or media. It could be anything more than 2 ups. Okay, now as you can see here, the artwork is very small, and therefore we can have 4 ups also. If this is the size of the artwork, you can have 1, 2, 3, 4 on a single A4 page. Brochure and leaflets. Now we are now going to be seeing that what are the different type of artworks that one could create. So these can come into 2 pages or 20 or even more, depending on what type of brochure you want to make. The size of each might vary depending on the client and your design needs. So size is also not fixed in this. Handouts. These could be considered a subset of brochures, because in certain countries, even handouts are also called brochures. Okay, and could come in half fold, trifold, quad fold, gate fold, Z fold, or roll fold. So these are how it is done. So this is a trifold. So in that, your behind part is, let's say, 2x, and then you in trifold, in the first one, okay, you have one single page exactly folded into 3 parts, okay, and overlapping onto each other. In the Z fold, it is the same 3 folds, but one fold is in the behind, one fold is turned behind. Can you see? These folds are the same, and this one fold is turned behind. In half fold, it is exactly half. In parallel fold, it is half, and then again is rotated again into 4. So it becomes a 4 fold, which is wound into each other. Then this is single open gatefold. So this is a 2x and 1x, and 1x is folded onto the side. So this is, let's say, half, and this is 1/4, 1/4. Then same over here, if you make a fold in between, just like how we did this, you make a fold in between, it becomes a double gatefold. Very simple. Then this thing, if you kind of rotate these, it becomes a roll fold. Then again a zigzag fold. So again these folds, if this center fold, instead of folding this way, folded in the opposite end, and this is also folded in the round end, so you get this zigzag fold. Then half fold and then half fold. So this is when you do something different, and half fold and then trifold. So these are for very big artworks. Moreover, newspaper inlays are kind of done that way. Leaflets and inserts. These are usually a single page and could be front back printed or one side printed. So this is a flyer. Flyers, leaflets, they are inlays. So flyers and inlays and leaflets. So these are how they are called. So in our newspapers, we get these sales things that, there is a sale going on. There is the new classes that have opened there, whatever that is. So they are all either one page. They could be black and white or color. They could be printed on matte paper or uncoated paper or coated paper. It all depends on you. Single side, double side, all on you. Okay. Then package design. So in package design, the most difficult, they are the most difficult boxes. Boxes are the most difficult because we have to think in 3D and folds that might fold into each other. So you don't want any important data folding into each other. So it's very, very important, and they are quite difficult, and you have to imagine your whole thing in 3D. Can design. These are also tricky, just like the box, because they have to be rotated to see the whole design, just like the box again. Okay. For a 12 OZ can, you can only see 4 inches of the design at once. As you can see, you can only see 4 inches of the design. Okay. And what is printed behind the barcode, the technical details, the company address, nothing is seen here. You'll have to rotate the can to see all this. Again, in this, even the printing that is done on top and down below, where the folds are there, is also a tricky part and has to be calculated. You do not want any matter being shrunk. While it is, if a design is there and it's shrunk, it's fine. But if your matter gets shrunk, it will get distorted and will not be readable very well. So shrinks. Okay, this one has to take care of the area that wraps or shrinks so that no matter is lost. As you can see, when it's here, can you see this rounded portion in both these places? So at some point, this is going to be joining. So you need to know that this part is the blow up area, and this part and the lower part is the reduced area. You do not want any more matter on the top or the bottom part. You will want matter on this 40% of this area, I would say 50% of this area, and 25% up and down. You would want to reduce or use as less matter as possible. Printing. Now, what are the different type of printers? So at home, we can have LaserJet or inkjet that is going to be printing A4 or to a maximum A3 size. You do not have printers that do larger than that. Okay. And these is something that you do at home, very cost effective, very cheap, and something that you would want to have in your office or home so that you're removing test prints to see the size, to see your layout, to see the weightage of your fonts and things like that. So it's better to have one at home if you are a designer, so that you know that, is your artwork doing well. Hope that, the colors, the font size and everything is all good. Then you have professional large scale printing. Now this is on t-shirts, the previous one was on well, and then you have your offset, and this is for screen printing. So all this is very, very important because this is done on large scale. You cannot do screen printing. You can do screen printing at home, but if you have a large quantity, then you need to employ a professional person who would do your large scale printing. You get very good outputs, and they are extremely cost effective also in large quantities. And then you have online or print on demand. Now let's say you have created a book and you want to test 2 different type of papers, or you want to give one dummy to your client. You are not going to contact your offset printer, and obviously your binding is not something that you can do in-house. So you are going to be giving it to an online print on demand website, something that we see online, like our Vista Print is there. There are many printing companies. The printers also do have their own online divisions, and you can request them for one book, like I want this one book in this paper, second book in this paper, and can you please give it to me? So they will do it for you, and you can allow the client to finalize and then get the whole print done. So this is where online print on demand takes place. They are somewhere in between your large scale and home printers, but your output is going to be digital. So you need to know your output will be very similar to what you're printing at home. Okay, not what you'll be printing in CMYK. It will be more of an digital printout. So you have to be sure that yes, your colors will be slightly darker than what would come. And that's about it. So I hope I have covered most of your doubts into print design. And if there is anything else, please feel free to comment on this particular thing. And if you like this particular thing and you think it has given you some more clarity and a direction, please like, subscribe, and do not forget to share. Thank you.